tomorrow's going to be a day off. We're going to be, seeing kangaroos.
Awesome. Yeah, so you're going to Australia Zoo?
We're going to the sanctuary, and the day after we have a gig with Gojira, and then Indonesia and Singapore and Tokyo.
And Philippines.
Yeah, I'll be at the Gojira show. Can't wait to see that. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great, yeah.
Yeah, very good. So a little bit of time in Brisbane. Nice. Hopefully the weather... It's been
crazy. Yeah.
At home it's worse. So.
Yeah, what's that?
At home it's worse.
Yeah,
it's colder. Like we have 3 degrees right now.
Yes.
So it's really Christmassy. Cold.
And how's the general vibe of the festival been so far? The two.
It's amazing, really. From the organization to the actual vibe of the festival, everybody's smiling. Everybody wants to have a good time. It's good to have everything back, and I can imagine for you guys, after the lockdown, I heard it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we were shut down and it's opened up now, so it's really good. Everyone's out supporting it as well, so it's really picked up again. So the recent album, I actually did the review for it for Heavy Made, and it took me a little while to figure out that it was a remake. I'm looking at all the track numbers going, why's everything got double X after it? So I actually took the time to go back and read the press release, which I don't do a lot of the time, because I like to go into it fresh and just go, what's this all about? So why? Why the need? Why was that done?
Well, the main reason is that it is the 20th anniversary of this record, and we didn't want to simply do a remaster or like a repackaging, because it's a record that means a lot to us. It's the record that made us level up in the game, allowed us to make music as a job, as a full-time job, and we love the songs. So we started to ask ourselves, how would it sound if we would have write it in 2022? And the idea just started to develop and get more and more interesting, and why don't we do it for real? In a moment in which we were starting to write again, after the pandemic, because it got us really not creative on a certain level. We didn't want any music to be connected with the pandemic because it was a very negative period. So we started to work on the songs, and they were sounding really good because, of course, they came, from the old ones, from the core of the old songs, but they were sounding really fresh, like we were writing a new record.
It's a super crisp production.
And it's so cool that now a lot of fans are confused because they don't know anymore if they love more the original versions or these versions, which is a good sign.
Yeah, we didn't know what to expect from the fans, because when you're gonna touch classic record, it's always hard because some people it gets really attached because it's the first time they discover the band, first time they gotta fall in love with the music. So it's always a gamble a little bit, but we thought we could have pulled it out because we've done it in the past, rearranging some songs just for the live shows without maybe doing as much of a rework that we've done now, but still making new sounds so they would flow better with the rest of the songs of the set list. Some of the tracks for the keyboards we're using, they're originally from 2002 or 2006, so it's hard they don't sound as good as the new ones, obviously. So we kind of need to rearrange them, re-record them, and a lot of this stuff was on tape because we recorded analog back then, so we didn't even have the file. So Mark, our bass player, which is the main songwriter of the band, he had to go back and re-record the whole album in the original version to find out all the parts, and then we re-record the vocals in the original version, and then rearrange everything and see what we could get and where we could progress and make it different.
It was actually really stressful. It was actually really stressful because when you write a new record, people don't know the songs, so you put them out there. Some people might love them, some people might not like them, but it's something new. When you put out something made out of something in a new version, it's always very challenging. It was stressful, but we're happy. We're really happy.
Earlier, we discovered the band with the original album as well, Home Alive, and we both didn't click to it to start with as well. And then listening to it, it just sounds so fresh, like the old songs, but it does sound
because it still sounds like Home Alive. It's not something that is taking anything away. We even put it in the same versions. Like if you purchase the record, you get both versions.
That's so cool.
So you can listen to the original one and the new one.
We didn't want to erase the classic album. We were just to tribute it with a newer version.
So it must have been, was there a sense of nostalgia with going back over? I know it's stressful, but was there,
Not really. I mean, we're not a I mean, we've been around for a couple of years, but we are not nostalgic in life. I mean, we look at the present and the future, and not even like a super projected long future. Like we like the present. So it's like, okay, now we want to do this. Okay, with the memories of Come Alive, with the memories of what we did, but no nostalgia. I mean, what we did was great, but we want to focus on the present.
But what we could get from this has been finding out how we were doing, remembering how we were doing the atmosphere, how we were creating certain melodies, certain arrangements that we've been changing during the progression of the recordings and songwriting. So Marco especially has found that some inspiration also for the future to not to imitate that, but to trying to recreate the same atmosphere that was there.
Okay, so what's in the future? Is there a album in the works?
Well, now we go back home. We arrive home just in time, to celebrate Christmas with our families and friends. And I think that from January we will focus on new material. We already have something, but not like full songs. So we're gonna meet up and start working on new songs.
We are keen to hear it. So really good.
That's super cool. Hey, like as far as what's your preference as far as live shows go? Do you have a preference, or are you just happy to play, or do you get a different vibe from an open air to a club? Like, do you sort of prepare different ways, or do you just bring it every time?
For me, it really depends, because I think we're a peculiar band, because we have such a variety of moods in our songs, that some songs are working better in a club, let's say in the evening with lights, maybe the most atmospheric songs, and they might be, let's say, less right for a day show on a festival, where we usually like to play, more energetic songs, more heavy songs. So it doesn't really matter. I think it depends on the crowd. It depends on a lot of factors, because usually crowds are really good and we like to interact with them. We like, to let them scream and clap and jump with us. We like the connection. But I don't think we have a favorite. I mean,
But there's definitely a difference between the two. That's for sure. I mean, we like both for different reasons, but there's not the same thing to play a club and a festival.
And sometimes it's up to your perception, because sometimes we feel we played the best show ever just because, I don't know, we felt better. Maybe we slept okay.
Yeah, and after doing it for so long, so many shows, it's natural. You felt better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can attest to that for sure.
How are the crowds here? Because we always get told that Australian crowds are the craziest. Are we the craziest?
We get told that.
We hear it. We do.
Yeah, you guys are insane.
The crowds were extremely good, but I think you guys have to fight with Latin crowds, because I mean, if you go to South America, they're pretty brutal.
I have heard that actually. It's a bit wild there. They get so excited about it.
Oh my God! Sometimes they sing so loud that we can hear our own voice. We're just like, okay, make drop, you do it. Yeah, but Australian crowds were really good. Thank you.
Yeah, wow. And after all, after all these years, it's still trip you out, the vocal being that loud back to you. It's a pretty honourable thing, isn't it? To have people not knowing the word, not just knowing the words, but that feat. I don't think there's anything better, is there?
It's crazy, because I mean, we noticed that there are a lot of kids coming to the shows, and I love the fact, maybe it's because of socials or maybe not, but people has no concept of age of band members, or or how long the band has been around. They always found new interests in new and old things, like vinyls coming back again. They don't care. If they like the music, if they like the artist, they come to the show. And I love this melting pot of old school fans, new fans that are coming just to enjoy a gig and to listen to music, to play the music. It's a cool thing, for all the music business.
Yeah. other cassettes coming back too overseas? Because we've got this cassette
we've done those.
We brought it back.
We've done those for
What started Delirium.
Delirium.
It's a big thing at the moment. All the stores.
Yeah,
are
it's
selling
sold
Yeah, we
out
did it.
right away.
cassette players.
Even
We did
if people doesn't have a player for those anymore, but they still buy it as a collection
Yeah,
item.
I would too. Because they're
Me
cool
too.
to have a collection at home.
Me too. I actually bought a cassette player, an old one, so I can listen to
I've
it.
still got one. I've got like a collection of old tapes, and I just got a couple of friends of mine got tapes. It's 30-year gap here.
Yeah. Did you used to make drawings and write names on the cassette?
Yeah,
That was
mixtapes,
such a
yeah.
cool thing. You would
mixtapes.
personalize your own cassettes.
We're getting
Good times.
We're getting nostalgic now.
Yeah. Now we are.
We are.
Now we are.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well. Thanks so much, guys.
Guys,
Yeah.
thank you.
We've got a few minutes left. We're going to run through the 60-second quiz.
Oh well.
Or did Crispy run off with it?
Oof.
He ran off with it, but I can do a little bit. And like, well, some of it involves interaction with the other bands. Like, who's the prankster in the group, in your band or band other bands? Is there someone who's just playing tricks on everyone?
We don't do a lot of pranks, but que fuck you scared?
Of us, in
What's
our
the
band,
mates?
maybe Richard, the drummer.
Maybe our drummer.
Yes,
the
yeah.
one. But in general, one guy that does a lot of pranks is Artie from Lamb of God.
Yes.
He
Oh
likes
my
to
God.
prank people.
Right. Well, there you go. Yeah. Good to know. Yeah. And you got some now?
I've got the list. Would you
Oh,
like me
yeah.
to take over with the
Yes,
list?
let's
We had
go.
a list
Did it.
prepared, but
Let's go.
I can't read it.
So,
We're ready.
all right, first question is, what have been some of the highlights of Good Things 2022?
Of 2022.
Well, I think for everybody, the main highlights has been the fact that we're back here on stage,
Yeah.
Yeah.
able to do what we haven't been able to do for so long, and to see the people happy at the show, finally doing what they like to do, has been the highlight not only of Good Things but the whole year.
Yeah.
We started again touring in April, May in the States with Apocalyptica, and since then we've done all the festivals, we've done a lot of other shows, and the energy of the people has been off the hook, and
Yeah.
see them so happy about the fact to just do something that was normal till 3 years ago. That's, I think, the highlight of the year, not only of Good Things.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
Who are the biggest parties at Good Things? Band member or other bands?
Definitely not me. Definitely not me. No, because I mean, every time I party, I need to recover, and it's not good for singing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a problem because sometimes you want to party, but you know that you have to sing the day after, and then you're like, okay, guys.
Actually,
So-
today there's the final
the
party.
artist
So
party.
tonight we'll find out. Judging from the music, maybe Electric Callboy can be a good party band
Yeah.
for sure.
It sounds like a good party.
Yeah.
I'd be.
We all made the rookie error last night and re-partied for today.
So get ready for tonight.
We're here, it'll be good.
There you go.
All right. 1 minute 90, all right. We'll run through this quickly. If you could play with any other band on the GT lineup, who would it be and why?
Any band?
Any band.
Oof.
Party, you say, or
Yeah, who
Touring.
would you like to play with? GT lineup. Any band you wanted that could join the Good Things lineup.
Deftones or
the
Bring Me the Horizon.
But the current ones, or
Yeah,
who we want to in
of
the
good,
future?
of good
No,
things, you
not,
said.
not the here at the moment, just any band.
Oh,
you
in the
want to
future,
play
like,
with.
okay.
Okay, what band you would like to play
Yeah.
at Good Things? Okay.
I mean, for us, for me, if we would have to bring a band, I would bring Korn, because it's such a great band, and friends. And, you know.
Korn's good.
Rammstein.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
to
yeah.
Australia. Come back to Australia.
Rammstein.
So it's
Tell
like
us
this
to get
massive
here.
new metal thing going on early 2000s.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
There's so many bands, so many great bands. It's hard to pick up one, but
All right. What is this one? You read that.
you write like a doctor.
That's not my writing. That's not my writing.
Yeah.
That's not my writing.
That's why it's like.
Who has surprised you most? Name 3 bands you think might be on Good Things 2023. Okay, let's redo that. Have you caught any bands playing during the festival?
We just caught a little bit of Ginger.
Yep.
And then we've been crossing each other with Gojira because we were getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
So obviously today it's our day. We're going to be trying, to
see the
play
bands.
the show and then refresh quickly and try to see as many bands.
One last last question. I'm going to edit this one a little bit because I'm going to ask everybody this. Without saying the weather, what's your favourite thing about Australia?
Without saying the weather.
Yeah.